Hey guys, how's it going? It's a pregame show. We're here, we're ready to rock. It is Wednesday. There's one fewer game than we thought there would be. Detroit, Washington postponed. Just answering questions on that people have asked about that situation. When that game gets rescheduled, it won't be this week. The stats will not count for week 16. They will count in whatever week that they occur. So if the game is played in week 17 or week 18, we don't know yet, but the stats won't retroactively be pushed back into week 16. They will count in whatever week that game happens, and we don't know when that'll be, so just be aware of that. Desmond Bane is back for the Grizzlies. He is starting alongside the usuals. Oh, no, not the usuals. Xavier Tillman starting, not Brandon Clark. There you go. Interesting. Brandon Clark is not starting for the Grizzlies. That just got updated against... Why? That's against the Blazers. They need Tillman against Nurkic, but they didn't need Tillman against Gobert. Is it a Bane thing? Still, don't drop Clark. Don't drop Clark. Consider streaming Tillman. Consider Tillman for today. He's starting. Doesn't mean he gets big minutes, but it probably does. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's annoying to have that postponed game. You know, Jalen Duren, Porzingis, Beal, Gafford, Wright, Avdia, Ivy, Bogdanovic, Bay, so many different options. And we had so many questions about both of those teams, and we don't get answers. It's annoying, for sure. All right. Stream Kenrich Williams or Hartenstein. I'll take Hartenstein. Eubanks or Hartenstein. I'll take Hartenstein. Just more minutes upside there. I honestly don't think we're going to get 30 minutes of Drew Eubanks. Unless there's an injury to Nurkic. I don't think that's going to happen. Sixers are starting one of their three starting lineups that they've got. Coincidentally, it's exactly the same one that started every single game since Doc Rivers said that. So it's Harden, Melton, Harris, Tucker, Embiid. Embiid is playing. He was listed a question where he is playing. That would mean to me that it's very unlikely he plays on Friday against the Spurs. Very unlikely. Bidier Jing says, it's been great following you this year. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Would I drop Alec Burks for Jabari or KJ Martin? Yeah, I'd have no problem with dropping Burks there. I don't think there's long-term value in Burks. He's not a high upside player. Smith is a higher upside player, and that hasn't really hit at all this season. And KJ Martin's a lower upside player. I would rather take the flyer on the upside of Jabari Smith than Burks or Martin. But I just want to hit that. I just want to hit that upside. Okay. Do I think Kyrie can be top 15 rest of the season? I do, yes. Embiid is playing. We know this. Come on, you Gunners. That has been confirmed, so that's great. Do I think the Raptors will actually trade their players before the trade deadline? No, Brian. And my answer to every time someone asks, do you think player will be traded? The answer is no. Because that is what happens. We hear these rumors consistently, and you will consistently be let down. Do I think the Raptors could trade someone? Yep, maybe. Same as 29 other teams. Do I think they're going to have a wholesale trade where Van Vliet goes or Trent goes or OG goes or Siakam goes? No, I don't. You might get one player traded. I would guess Trent, unless they're getting a gigantic 3 first-round package back for Anunoby. But just your expectation should be no. Bleed Blue, just explained this about what happens. What happens is the game gets played at another time. And when that game gets played, that's when it counts. Dribble game. Good, Tim. I did forget that. So we're going to do it now. Well, I didn't forget it. I just hadn't moved into it. Because we're going to do injury up. I just saw a bunch of stuff come through and I got the Embiid stuff come through and got distracted. Let's do dribble game. Who do we have today? All right, let's restart this. Oh, they want me to submit. They want you to submit quizzes, okay? Lonnie Walker and Malcolm Brogdon. Derek White. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. That was piss easy. Done. Let's get the lineup page up on the screen so you guys can see that. And then let's go through the injuries that we do have. Actually, before I do that, I'll just announce what lineups we do have in case you can't read them. The Magic are starting Fultz, Harris, Wagner, Banchero, and Wendell Carter is playing and is starting. So don't worry about Bol, don't worry about Bumba, don't worry about Mo Wagner, I don't think. The Sixers, Harden, Melton, Harris, Tucker, and Embiid. The Grizzlies are Morant, Bane, Brooks, Jackson, Tillman. So Zion Williams moves to the bench, Brandon Clark moves to the bench. The Blazers, Harden, Nurkic are playing, so they'll go with their standard lineup. And then that is all we know so far. So let's find out what we actually know regarding injuries and who. We only got 8 games today. I said there was 9. Isaac is out today. Not even a back-to-back, and he's resting. What else do we know? Danny Green is playing. John Conchar is out. Hart and Nurkic are in. Ben Simmons is out. Tony Warren is out. Marcus Smart is out. Rob Williams is in. Rudy Gobert is questionable. I think he plays. Taurean Prince is in. Bryn Forbes is out. McLaughlin's out. Towns is out. Jalen Green is out. Kevin Porter is out. Lou Dort is out. Alperen Şengün is back. Romeo Langford is questionable. Josh Richardson is probable. Anunoby is out. Devin Booker is out. Trae Young is probable. Payne is out. Shamet is out. Saban Lee is signed to a two-way, and Dwayne Washington has been waived by the Phoenix Suns. The Warriors are starting Curry, Poole, Thompson, Wiggins, and Green, so they're going with their small lineup again. I just said a tweet here. Remember when Doc Rivers said there were 3 starting lineups? Oh, yeah, I remember. I remember when he said that, and then hasn't used any of them. Doc Rivers, legendary liar. Joel, I don't even know if Joel's going to go. I don't know. Is Joel going to play? I don't know. News to me. Legendary liar. Doc Rivers. What a dickhead. Oh, Glenn. I'm amusing myself here. What else is happening? How is everyone? We all good? Here in the old chat. Is Tillman a good stream for steals? I wouldn't rely on it. He's had some good steal numbers, but I wouldn't rely on it. Is Jonas Valanciunas this year's Rashawn Holmes, a top 50 player who leaves fantasy relevance forever? No, I don't think so, JP, because I can see a very easy situation of him moving to a new team and being useful for another 1 to 2 years. He's been obviously disappointing this season. I faded him pretty heavily at draft time, but I didn't expect him to be this bad. I honestly don't think that he's done at all. But who knows? Should you play Mo Wagner over Brandon Clark? No, you should not. I'm dropping Aaron Wiggins today. I don't know. Look, it depends on who you'd be adding, Shawnee, because Wiggins is obviously very fringy. He was okay game 1, got benched in the second half of game 2. We don't even know that he'll start in this one. I don't think we need to hold on to him. Yeah, he's not. It depends who you'd add, but he's not a must-hold. I'm just looking here what we got. The Blazers starting Lillard, Simons, Hart, Grant, Nurkic. That's confirmed. Is it risky to acquire Zion rest of season? I don't think so. He'll be back. He'll be playing. I think it'll be okay. Odds for OG getting traded at 83% on DraftKings. Do they know something we don't? No, they don't. They don't know something that we don't. They are just hearing reports the same as you are, and they are putting it out there and they set these lines to get people to bet so they can try and get equal. If they can get equal action on either side of that, on the yes or the no, they win because of the 10% VIG that they have or whatever it is. Meaning that if they've guessed that the 83% is where people will go half say yes, half say no, then no matter what happens, they win. They make 10% of that money. That's how these sites work. So they'll look at all the rumors, they'll have certain metrics, they'll run polls or whatever they do. They don't necessarily know that's the case. They don't say, "Oh, it's 83% because we know that OG is getting traded, so we're going to bump the numbers up." That's not how they work. I hope that makes sense. Does it? I'm just going to have a look because obviously we're sponsored by FanDuel here, so we're looking at FanDuel. Is there any? They don't have any draft. They don't have any trade deadline odds that I can see on FanDuel. That other side, I'm not even sure what it is. Probably doesn't exist. It's probably not. It doesn't feel real, honestly. Yeah. No, there's nothing there. All right, cool. What part of fantasy season is most fun? I don't know. The draft, probably. I like doing fantasy drafts and the fantasy draft prep. It's the most busiest part of me for the season. And it's probably that. What do I make of the KOC news about Portland moving on from Nurkic? I'll believe it when I see it. They just signed him to 4 years, $72 million. I think some of the comments about Nurkic being bad and Eubanks being better is overblown. I'll never believe a trade story unless I hear Woj or Shams say X team is finalizing a deal with X player for this player. That is it. Even Shams is like rumors of like, well, this is what they're getting discussed. It's a lot of it is just stuff that has been thrown out and mentioned and then doesn't happen. We've been burnt a million times in the past. So I don't actually care about, look, now Eubanks, value as a block streamer for sure. Definitely 16 to 14 team league guy, no worries. I don't think I'd bother adding him waiting for them because they go, well, Eubanks is our answer and trading away Nurkic makes us better, because I don't think it does. How does trading away Nurkic make them better? I don't know. It's weird. If you wanted to just play Nurkic, play Eubanks, you could just play Eubanks. You don't have to trade Nurkic away. OG, look, let's discuss this OG Barakua. I've done it a million times before, but do it again. Do I think Tari Eason, we must have come Yahoo default playoff time end of season? Okay, this is what has happened with Tari Eason. We've explained it again. Who in the chat wants to answer this question? Because I know you guys are here doing it. Tari Eason does not play at small forward really at all. There's about 5% of his minutes have been as a small forward. He plays behind Jabari Smith at power forward. That's it. So the way that he would be able to get value come playoffs is if Jabari Smith was traded, never going to happen, or injured, maybe happen. Or if Alperen Şengün was going to be traded, never going to happen. Or if Alperen Şengün was injured, maybe. If Eric Gordon gets traded, Tari Eason doesn't start. KJ Martin does. And then Jayshawn Tate's behind him. And we have seen Gordon miss so many games, and it has benefited Eason nothing at all. They don't play him at small forward. Now, they should play him at small forward, and they should try it out because he is one of their best players, I believe, Tari Eason. But it doesn't matter if I believe that or if I've believed it all season. Could they have a change in philosophy and decide that they are going to play Eason ahead of Martin and ahead of Tate if Gordon goes? Sure. But every scrap of available evidence tells us that that is not how they view Tari Eason. That they view him as a forward, as a power forward, as a 4 behind Smith. I would want to see them do it. And he is absolutely fine to grab now with 3 games in 4 nights, and you can wait for the deadline to see if anything changes or what they do. But so far, all 50 games of evidence, all 1,000 minutes or whatever that Eason's played this season would tell us that it is just not going to happen. So we can use evidence in whatever way we want versus dreaming a scenario which we think would make sense but hasn't actually shown to make sense at all. I hope that makes sense. A stock specialist, don't use the word stock. It is a stupid term, Vishal. Nothing against you. It is a stupid term that should never be used. Steal and block specialists are must roster to get close to the playoffs. Not really how that works in category leagues, right? Steal and blocks are very low volume numbers, whereas you can go from like, you get 1 block, or you get 2 blocks in 1 game, and you can get 0 for the next few games, but you still average 0.7 blocks, which is average. But they're very fluctuating. Relying heavily on low volume stats puts you at greater variance of losing or winning a week. A steals and blocks specialist must roster to get close to the playoffs? Well, if your team is going to be strong in those categories, then yes. But that all depends on your own team and your opponent's team. If you're in a situation where you and your opponent are very similar in steals and blocks for the season, trying to like squeeze an extra 1 to 2 steals out a week because you think that'll get you the win, it doesn't work. The variance in those things are so wide that you're better off trying to stack up other categories where the variance is lower, I believe. Even now, if you're miles ahead and you want to just really solidify that category, because there can be big variance, I get that. But if you're miles behind also, I don't think I'd look into it. It is a they're weird categories because of so low volume. I remember you mentioning players don't sit out because they feel like it was AD sitting out in the Pelicans at end of season exception. AD sat out of the Pelicans because the Pelicans told him to sit out. He didn't choose to sit out. They told him to sit out. Very different. He wanted to play and they said, no, we want you not to play because we want to preserve your trade value. People remember things very differently. AD didn't refuse to play. The Pelicans refused to play him. Unless, maybe I've lost my mind. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. I don't think I am though. I know you gave your take about Şengün when KPG comes back, but you do think the offense is going to run with him even when KPG is healthy. Again, we've got 0 evidence to suggest that'll be the case. When I hate saying KPJ, Kevin Porter and Jalen Green are out there, they don't get the ball to Şengün. Now, does things work better when Şengün's got the ball? Absolutely. But so far, the evidence has been Şengün runs things when Porter is out, and when Porter is in, Şengün doesn't. I would love to see that change, but I'm not going to put faith in that happening when there's 0 evidence to suggest that it will. Okay. I see everyone answering the question about Tari Eason. Look, this is not to preclude that they could change their mind and play him at small forward. I would play him at small forward. I would have started him day 1. Tari Eason at small forward because I believe he can play small forward, but they don't. They've had ample opportunities to play him there, and they don't do it. And that could very easily change, and it is a great grab with 3 games in 4 nights, and then you can wait to the deadline and see what happens and see if they change their mind. It's totally okay, but all available evidence suggests the opposite so far. Okay. If I ever talk to Dan Titus about that, I'll tell him to stop using the term stocks. I think it's so... What's the point of it? What does it benefit you? How does it help you in fantasy to say the word stocks? Matt Kong's really good question, Matt. He says, he's new to fantasy. How should fantasy playoffs be played differently compared to regular season? Well, if you're in a category league, the difference is you just need to win 5 categories. That's all you need to do. You don't need to get a 6-3. You don't need to get a 7-2 to push yourself into the playoffs. You just need to win 5 categories. So you concentrate all of your value into the 5 categories that you're going to win. So you make drops that might seem stupid on the surface. You look to maximize games played, and you look to get 5 categories. That is all you need to do. It is a different mindset. What can we make of half the league wanting Bogdan Bogdanovic? Nothing. Literally nothing. Is AJ Griffin a stash potentially? No. Again, this is just going to burn you and it's going to hurt you. There are 3 guys that I would consider stashing. Mark Williams, Zach Collins, KJ Martin. Sure, throw Tari Eason in there, although I've outlined the reasons why I don't think anything changes for him at the deadline, but that's it. Should Dwayne Casey be in jail? No, he shouldn't be in jail. Should he not have a job coaching an NBA team? Yeah, he shouldn't have that job because he's not very good at it. The Rockets have analytics people? I'm sure they do, yeah. But the problem is there's such a disconnect in so many teams and so many front offices between the analytics people and the coaching staff. You see it all the time. These disconnects between coaches, the analytics staff, the data staff, the front office, all the time. So the analytics people would be coming and saying, Steve, bro, what are you doing with Bruno Fernando? Like, what are you doing with these ISO plays? This is how we're successful doing it. And you go, I've been in basketball my whole life. My dad's the coach for 50 years. I think I know basketball. You with your pencils and your calculators and your graphs. Basketball's played with a ball and with spirit and heart, not with spreadsheets. And that's what happens. Look, you see the disconnect when a front office, like the Knicks, trade a first-round pick for Cam Reddish and they go, here, Tom, here's a new player. And he goes, yeah, lol, I'm never playing him. Oh, but I just gave up a first-round pick. Lol, I'm never playing him. These people are not connected at all. It is ridiculous that they aren't, but they aren't. And with bad teams, it is even more apparent. They just don't get it. There's no way Eric Gordon can keep starting at small forward. Eason has to take that spot. Brandon, Eason doesn't play small forward. He hasn't all season. He's played 13 minutes next to Smith and Şengün. 13. He doesn't play small forward. Hasn't in 50 games. We'll see what happens moving forward. Any more news? Nothing. Okay, cool. What are your top 3 streamers for today if you're looking primarily for defensive stats? Good question. Let's have a look. It is hard to do that. No, you know what? It's not that hard to do it. Let me just bring up all of my numbers here. And we're just looking for defensive stats for today. So who is going to be the big fella that benefits the most? Who's my stream for defensive stats today? Let's have a look. Kyle Anderson. Xavier T. Illman. Depends what cutoff I'm using for roster percentage. I'm doing under 60% here. Jalen Williams, the Bronco. Drew Eubanks. Tari Eason. Derek White. Some pretty good streamers for defensive stats there. Did the Warriors make a mistake signing Jordan Poole, who can't play point guard and is bad defensively? They didn't make a mistake signing him. You have to sign him. You can't let him get to restricted free agency and leave. Did they probably pay too much for him? Yes, but the cap is going to rise quite a bit and it's not going to look that bad. Does he look overpaid at the moment? Yes. Could he still be traded to a team where he could have value? Yes. Is it a mistake? No, I don't think so. Do I think the Blazers will make a move before the deadline? Yes, I do actually. I don't know what it will be, but I think they will make one, and I don't think it will involve Nurkic. Do we add Tillman, or is it a trap? It's a trap, but he's fine to stream for today. Like, he's not going to start every game. The majority of games, it's going to be Brandon Clark. But today, Tillman is starting. He might play 25 minutes, and he might be worth the stream for today. That's it. Is Kessler must add still? Yes. There's no reason why that would even change. When is Poku coming back? I'd say it's still probably a month away. Do I think Pokuševski will provide 12 team? No, I don't. No, I don't. Do I think the Knicks make a move at the deadline? No, I don't actually. What's a reasonable return for LeBron? If I can get a top 15 player back, I would do that. Is Ben Simmons top 100 in category league rest of the season? I think he's right on that mark. Right there. I've always pronounced Xavier Xavier. Is it an American versus an Australian thing? I don't know. It might be. I've always pronounced it Xavier. Why would yeah. It's like you know that instrument you play with the little things? Is that an xylophone? It's not. It's a xylophone. Isn't it? Yeah, it's not. Well, hang on a second. Do Americans call it an xylophone? Or do you call it a xylophone? The name is Xavier. It's not Xavier. How excited am I for LeBron's scoring record? Well, I'm not. I think it's a great achievement, and he's awesome, LeBron. I think he probably is the GOAT, honestly. But am I excited for it? Not really. It's not like I'm going to tune in to make sure I watch him break that record. I don't think I will. I don't know. I'm not. I won't avoid it, but I'm not super excited about it. Collins or Tillman for blocks today? Which do you mean, Zach Collins? I'd probably take Zach Collins. What do I think about the Clippers rotation? It makes you go crazy. It's not that unpredictable. It's big minutes for Kawhi and Paul George. It's like 28 to 30 for Zubats. And then it's like 23, 25 for everybody else. I actually don't think it's that bad. Professor Xavier from X-Men. Again, it's just... I don't know why it's pronounced Xavier. It's Xavier. Xylophone. You pronounce the X in X-Men? Yeah, you should. Because X-Men is X-Men, like X-Ray. What other words start with X? That we can have a look through here. I don't even know. Do I think Professor X is Xavier? Yeah, because it's created by an American. Every other... What about the bloke that used to play for the Knicks and the Celtics? McDaniels, number 31. Xavier McDaniels or Xavier McDaniels? We have to accommodate people pronouncing their own names wrong. Darius Baisley. Yeah, I know. It's definitely Basley. I don't know what he's doing with the Baisley. Is Kyle Lowry droppable? Or is Dan Gafford more droppable? Jalen Williams is available in my league. Oh, man. Well, okay. So your waiver wire's actually got some heft to it. Some value there. Is Lowry droppable? Well, he's obviously not playing well, is he? I think that the likelihood that Gafford and Williams are ahead of Lowry is high this season. And it is hard to drop Lowry, but things are going terribly. He doesn't play minutes. Usage is down. Doesn't get to the free throw line anymore. Can't shoot. I think he can turn it around. And it is risky. But I think I'd rather Jalen Williams. Xenon. Yeah, you don't call it X-Enon, do you? Aid? You don't call it X. You don't call it X-Enon. Thank you. Word starting with X. What else am I looking at? Man, there's not many, is there? What are these words? I've never even heard of these words. Xanthan. You don't call it Xanthan gum, do you? For those of you in the scientific community. Anyway, I think we've got the point across. Do we? Do we even have an answer to this? I don't know. I don't think so. Better stream today, Clark or KJ Martin? Is that Brandon Clark? I think I'll go KJ Martin today. Even the college is Xavier. Yes, all in America. Oh, so he did call himself Xavier McDaniels. Okay, wrong. X-Erox. You're right, the photocopy company. X-Erox. I forgot about that one. The only person I remember it being pronounced Xavier was Xavier Henry. But I think he called it Didn't he say something different? Wasn't he like Xavier or something? Oh, he had a weird pronunciation for his name, I'm pretty sure. A lot of Xavier stuff here. Yeah, Xenophobia. You're right. Xenophobia. That's how we pronounce that. Xena Warrior Princess. Yep, you're right. Xena. Xavier. Why is it get pronounced that way? Anyway, do I think so? Oh, that's actually, Daniel, that's a massive LOL. Oh, Zach Collins. Do a 10-team. Yeah, if Pirtle goes, yes, he will be 10-team league worthy. This is such a weird live show. How's everyone going? I'm just checking if there's any more info. I think we've got everything so far in terms of news that's come through. We're just talking Xavier's here. Is Conley's value best if he stays in Utah? Probably. I could see him like being solid enough with the Clippers. There's some talk that I've heard, like not rumors, but like, hey, what if the Suns move off from Chris Paul and bring Conley in and do 3-way deals that way? I think he's not done. I think he's not done if he gets traded. X-ray. Well, Sean, it's not checkmate, old mate, because that's not how you spell X-ray. It's not how you spell X-ray. Do I think Walker Kessler will hit top 60 before the end of the season? I think just outside. What about Xmas? It's not a real word. And when you write Xmas, you don't pronounce it Xmas, surely. You write it Xmas, you pronounce it Christmas. Do you not? Does anyone actually say the word Xmas out loud? Xanax. You're right. Xanax is Xanax because that's how X's are pronounced. It's not X-Anax. I love this chat. Is Al Horford an ad? Yeah, look, you've given me zero context, but let's just say yes. But in certain situations, the answer will be no. Devin Booker might be available for Friday. Yeah, that is how things are trending. That is how things are trending. Tillman or Josh Hart? Longer term, it's Hart. Tillman is not going to be a long-term 12-team league guy. It's just for today. So I'd probably rather just stick with where get a little bit more longer-term value. Why is the Grizzlies game starting so early today? I'm just noticing this. First game of the night, Portland at Memphis. Why? It's a 6 p.m. game in Memphis. What do I think will happen to Maxey? Doc has made him a glorified corner specialist. I don't think anything will happen to him. I think he'll just continue to do the same stuff, which is the concerns we had from him in the preseason, is that he won't get defensive stats, he doesn't rebound, he won't get ball handling opportunities, and if he's not hitting 45% from three, he's got absolutely zero chance of touching the top 50. And we've seen all that play out. It's just going to be the same stuff. Nice scoring burst off the bench, good scorer whose value will fluctuate a lot, much like Norm Powell, with shooting efficiency. Now Trizzle, no one says it, does they? I've never heard anyone say Xmas out loud. Say something nice about Dylan Brooks. He's a very, very good defender. There you go, easy. Is Precious a must-add? I think so, yeah. Halliburton expectations tomorrow, full swing? I don't think so. I think he'll be marginally limited. Not huge amount, but marginally. Do I still have LaMelo is out tomorrow? I don't see any news regarding that. No. When did I say LaMelo is out tomorrow? I might have said that because it's a back-to-back. Is it a back? No, it's not even a back-to-back. No, why would LaMelo be out tomorrow? When did I say that? They have a back-to-back Thursday, Friday, the Hornets, but I don't expect him to be out, actually. So there's a chance he might be out one of those games, but I don't... I don't recall saying that he was out tomorrow. What will happen to the Pistons-Wizards game? It'll get rescheduled and played at another time. I've got no idea when. All right, that is going to do it for our show. Thanks, everyone, for being a part of the Xavier nonsense. Appreciate that. It was fun. I'll see you guys later. Hit thumbs up on the way out. Guys,